Now, you've been doing the convention circuit for a while. How's that been going, and how's it changed?
I've been doing conventions now for about 10 years. I didn't realize I'd been doing them that long, but this year I think we'll make it the 10th year. It's been great. I love being around anime fans because I am an anime fan and my friends are anime fans. But it's also weird because it's conventions will never be what they used to be to me. I'll never be an attendee. I'll always consider myself an anime fan, but I'm always on this side of the curtain now, and so that's a little sad because like I never even got to the dealer's room this weekend, and I still want to go to the dealer's room and want to go to Artist Alley and do all the things that I used to do. I just can't now. So you know, that's a sacrifice. I also get to meet cool people, so I guess it's a nice trade-off. But conventions have been going well, but conventions have gotten larger, and with that caused some problems too. Because now conventions are making a lot of money, there are people that expect their piece of the pie, and so now there are a lot of actors that want tons of money to show up, and so their attitudes about conventions and fans have changed a lot because it's just their paycheck. Conventions have also, you know, tried to get their cut of the pie, and conventions used to not be for profit. Now there are people that blatantly say we're a for-profit con, which is funny because then if you're going to be for profit, then you need to pay all your guests and pay your volunteers, and you know, if it's for profit, then it's for profit, and nobody should be volunteering and giving up their time. And that's the evolution of conventions. I don't really see that as being good or bad. You know, science fiction conventions, you know, kind of imploded on themselves and rethought themselves and reimagined themselves, and some of them worked and some of them didn't. I kind of think that's where we are with anime conventions right now. What I have seen change, what I don't like, and what I've been trying to be very vocal about, and I do a yaoi panel, and I mention it at the yaoi panel, and I mention it anytime anybody asks me about it. The kids have changed. According, you know, going back to the anime industry panel, anime fans, younger anime fans, feel super self-entitled. They feel everything is just owed to them, and that's so weird, being from another generation of anime fans that hunted and, you know, searched and did everything they could to find just any little bit of anime, and we were so excited when we found it. The internet and BitTorrenting and all that has changed that. They, you know, they just feel it's theirs for the taking. The other thing that has really changed is that they don't respect each other anymore. There are kids here that bully other kids here. There are kids that go to cosplay and make fun of oversized cosplayers. There are kids that, you know, walk into a panel and there could be a panelist talking and they're talking on their cell phone or having a conversation. And that is having a big effect on conventions. That, you know, there are things that are going on at conventions that makes me sad because I think, you know, one of the reasons I like conventions so much is I get, you know, beat up pretty much in the real world. The real world pretty much takes its toll on me on a regular basis, and this is the one place where I can come where people don't look down their nose at me and, you know, like, why does he have blue hair or whatever. This is a really accepting, forgiving, welcoming, loving environment, and I'd hate to see that change. I'd hate to see that be a place where, you know, little kids can't be themselves. I have a very dear friend who is like my little brother now, that he grew up at conventions, and the first time I ever met him, I was long story short, there was a reporter waiting to do an interview in the bar waiting for me, and he saw me giving a hug to this little kid and his mom, and he said, when I got to the bar, he was crying, and I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "Can I just tell you what that little kid said to his mom as he walked by?" And I go, "Sure." He goes, "Who is that?" And I go, "Oh, that's my friend Cody and his mom Ruth." And he said, when that little kid just walked by me, he said, "See, Mom, even the famous people here like me. I don't understand why everybody hates me at my school." And that, like, I still feel like I'm gonna cry every time I say that, but the cool thing is, this is the reason he became the well-adjusted, good-looking, mild-mannered, super talented kid that he is, he's always had the support and love of the cosplayers. He makes costumes. The famous picture of me dressed as Chrono, that kid made that costume. I think he was like 14 or 15 when he made that. But he is so well adjusted, and like, he's not neurotic about girls the way a regular kid would be, because he's around girls all the time at conventions, and he's not a super horn dog because he sees half naked girls at conventions, and he's okay. And that's a kid that might not have been okay if he didn't have this. So the thought that there's just a bunch of rowdy, troublemaking kids that want to ruin that part of this, that's the part of conventions that I think is invaluable, that safe haven. And I'd hate to see that disappear, because then at that point it just becomes a marketplace, you know, and there's nothing special about it. So, but, you know, I have faith. I think anime fans are good people. I just think we have to smack our own hands every once in a while. So,
to get a little bit lighthearted here and go off the cuff, what dictates your hair color?
Boredom, and like, I've colored my hair since I was a little kid. Like, I was the first person to ever be thrown out of my junior high school for coloring my hair, and I worked in a law firm. That's pretty well known. I worked in a law firm as an IT guy before I started doing this for a living. And so after having to wear a suit and tie every day, this was just kind of my natural reaction to having freedom again. And now what dictates my hair is, like, my new thing is I think I want to try camo hair, that blue, like that navy camo. So it'll be trying to pull it off. My actual driver's license, my Texas driver's license, I have leopard spotted hair. But I just, you know, I think about it and I'm like, I saw this picture of this punk rock girl that had this hair. I wonder how I could do this, you know, like, so it's boredom. And I would be lying if I said I didn't think the attention was funny. I don't think I seek the attention, especially doing what I do for a living right now. I'm the guy that wants no extra attention, but I do think it's funny to walk into, you know, like, because I travel all over, and walk into some, you know, Perkins in the Midwest with like a mohawk with leopard spotted sides. It's just kind of funny. It's very sore thumb and very just, whoa, what is that? And then even if somebody, you know, doesn't like it, I've provided them entertainment for the day, so it's okay.
To wrap this up, do you want to make any shout outs, say thanks to anyone?
Super thanks to the Ikkicon staff. You guys just keep getting bigger and better every year. Big thanks to, one of them is actually sitting by me, my guest relations staff. The people that work behind the scenes that sometimes are not seen are the reason the conventions kind of work like they do and look like they're always flawless. And thanks to everyone that keeps coming out and supporting the anime industry. We definitely need your help.